Hey everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, it's starting to warm up a bit here. I was out and about doing some errands, and I thought it would be nice to just stop by the park here and do a little video. Maybe going to sit out here for a little while. It's so nice and peaceful here. A lot of green space, creek right behind me, but still the temperatures are nice enough where you can just sit out here and enjoy this sunshine and blue skies. Today I want to talk about how to handle raw vegan slip-ups and failures. I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button now and click the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel and you'll know when the video drops every day. So how do we handle these raw vegan slip-ups? How do we handle these raw vegan failures? Just as a disclaimer, let me just go ahead and say on the failures part, generally what people consider failures are not failures, and even, I'm not even sure there are failures, but that's just more how people perceive certain things, so I just use that term. Honestly, if you use the right approach, there's never really a fail. It's just a learning process. It's part of the journey. You learn from everything you do and you move on. That's how everything in life is. Like a lot of stuff I like to talk about here, I try to pick certain subjects because I think they're applicable to a lot of different things in life. Now, how do most people handle if you, if you've been doing raw vegan lifestyle for a while, or if you network with people, or if you go to groups, Facebook groups or forums or whatever for information or support, or just to, just to learn. What do you see most people doing? What is the modus operandi when people tend to slip up, fall off, fail, whatever you want to call it? Well, number one, the first thing that happens, and if you haven't been able to tell, I'm kind of Spock-like like that. People get all emotional about it. Emotion, I know people have emotions, but like dealing with things in an emotional way just generally, I won't say it doesn't work. It impedes it from working. It slows things down. It just mucks things up. I like clarity. I like to problem solve. I've talked about problem solving in my videos before, and I think problem solving is just a great way to look at life in a lot of ways. Okay, so what I'm saying here, instead of getting all emotional about it, you can do the weepy thing. You can go and post the same post in your all 10 of your raw vegan groups or your plant-based groups or whatever they are, lamenting and crying and talking about how bad you feel because you fell off your plan and I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel so depressed. Can somebody talk to me? This, that, and the other. I just see all that as unnecessary. None of us are perfect. We're all going to make mistakes on our journey, on our eating, on everything. And like I say, raw vegan, just plug this in. If you're not a raw vegan, if you're not a fully raw vegan, if you're plant-based, just plug it in for, plant-based, high carb, however you do it. But one of the things I would say don't do when you have a slip up or when you fail, like what you consider a failure, is don't do a cleanse. Don't do anything special. I would really, really implore you here not to do a cleanse, not to do a special, not to have this big, profound moment of I've got to change things up. What I would advise is just to simply acknowledge it and go back to your plan. And if I'm talking to you and if you're saying right now, what plan? Well, then maybe you need a plan. But no, you go right back to your way of eating. Now, what am I meaning here? Don't do a cleanse. Why am I saying so fiercely, don't do a cleanse after you've had a bad period or a failure? Because a cleanse, I'm not saying it's not going to be good for your body. I'm not going to say it's not going to get some gunk out of your body, but it's not solving the particular problem you're having, and that problem is how to eat. You have to learn how to eat. You can't do a cleanse all the time. So, you could do a cleanse, but then you're still right back at the same place. You have to figure out how to do this thing on a day-to-day basis. And just like a diet is not sustainable, cleanses aren't sustainable. You can't live on a cleanse. So at some point, you have to learn how to eat a balanced version of this lifestyle. So, you've slipped up, failed, fallen off the wagon, whatever you want to call it. What do? You take a step back. You take a breath. You don't make it any bigger than it is. It's like, okay, this happened. I ate so-and-so, or I did so-and-so. Boom. You acknowledge it. Why did you do it? What were the triggers? What led you to do that? What led to this behavior? If it wasn't eating, we could, like I say, we'll generalize. What led to the behavior? What triggered the behavior that you're not happy with? Once you identify what triggered that behavior, you work to avoid that. If it's something in your house that you need to get rid of, if it's just about keeping stuff around all the time, you avoid those triggers. Certain triggers for people, people let themselves get too hungry. That's one that most people just, I can identify all the time. I'm like, well, you needed to eat. You needed to eat something good. If you'd eaten something good an hour before, you wouldn't have eaten that bad thing that now you're all upset about. So, little things. Eliminate those triggers. If you know you get hungry around 10, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, whatever your times are, have something around. If you know something, if a certain type of food leads to another type of food. I'm just kind of throwing some things out there right now, but you see what I'm saying. Problem solving. Figure out why you did it, what caused you to do it, what the triggers were, and try to remedy that situation. Don't get down on yourself, because that doesn't solve anything. I see so many people, they're just riding a merry-go-round. They're riding a merry-go-round on the raw vegan lifestyle, health. They're just riding a merry-go-round on life in general, because they don't want to just acknowledge what's happening. They don't see, things are what they are. And I'm trying not to repeat myself too much here, and we can deal with them in two ways. We can deal with them from that emotional, oh my God, panicky, what am I going to do? Or just simple problem solving. And that's all you really need to do on anything when you slip up, when you fail, when you're not happy with the results. Anytime you talk about being emotional or sensitivities or whatever, you touch a nerve with a certain segment. Now, before, I'm not telling people that emotion is bad. I'm not telling people expressing emotion is bad. Anything of the sort. I'm not saying, oh, well, you're too sensitive with it or whatever, but there is reality in life, and reality, there's just a way to solve problems, and all this weeping and wailing about it just doesn't do a whole lot. And beating yourself up and negative thoughts about yourself and negative speak about yourself, like even just telling yourself, like, I'm so stupid, why can't I, I'm just too dumb to do this, or why am I such a failure? Don't think of yourself as a failure. I'm not big into the whole vocabulary you use with yourself, because I don't know, that just doesn't affect me that much. But words can be powerful. So, when you have these little slip ups, maybe it helps you. Don't think of yourself as a failure. Think that you failed in this particular situation, or don't think of yourself as a screw up. You slipped up in this particular situation. There's a big difference there when you start extrapolating and making it much bigger and saying, I am a screw up, or I can't do this. That's some heavy negativity going around there. So don't get down on yourself. That's the number one thing. We're all gonna make mistakes. None of us are perfect in this life. Another point I wanted to make, you don't have to do something special though. That's the one thing, like I said, with the cleanses and whatever, just in general, everybody thinks of it. I want to say that one time I heard Tanny Ross say that in a video, and I imagine she said it in a number of videos. Or maybe it was somebody else, I don't know, but just, you didn't fail. It's not like and it's not even like you've gone back to square one. I hear people saying that all the time, and they feel like maybe they've been eating very well for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or 6 months, and they have some little hiccup in that, where they go, maybe even they for a few days or whatever, and they for some reason think that little bit of bad they did negates all the good eating they did. You don't go back to the beginning. Like a lot of people say that. You don't go back to the beginning if you have a slip up. You just go straight from that point. You just pick up and go straight from that point. Think of it just like you fall down on the ground right now. Let's really simplify this thing to finish off this video. What are you going to do right now? Stand up, just pretend you're walking along. You fall down, you trip, you fall down on the ground. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I know this is a simple, silly example, but what are you going to do? Are you going to lay on that ground and pull out your phone and go to groups and ask people, oh my God, I fell down on the ground. What do I do? I'm stupid. I can't walk. How is it that I can't walk at the age of 47? I don't know what I should do. What should I do? No. You get yourself up off the ground. You fell right here. You stand up right here and you move forward. Plain and simple. So why don't we do the same thing with so many other things in our life instead of making it making it a mountain out of a molehill? I'll finish with that. A lot of times, don't be so heavy on yourself or so hard on yourself with this quest for perfection. The one last thought that I thought I'll express here is a lot of times even you see people getting so upset at something that I'm not even sure I would consider it a slip up or a failure. It's maybe not the strictest version of their way of doing things, but come on, lighten up with yourself. There's some, we're going to make mistakes. Plus there's enjoyment to life. I do that all the time. I don't eat bad things, but there's things that are not optimal for me that I decide, I'm going to eat it today. Don't make such a big deal out of it. But in the end, just let's focus on moving towards being healthier each day. You have a little stumble one day, no problem. We just pick up and start right back over. So anyhow, I'm about to start rambling now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got a little something out of it. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. If you know any other people out there that have that mentality that struggle, share this video with them, because the mental part is what'll get you on this lifestyle. The eating part's easy because we're eating really good, healthy food that tastes good. Anyhow, see you guys tomorrow. Peace.